Hi friends, welcome to this latest episode of the Nationalist View. We have with us a very special guest, Mr. Salah Uddin Shoaib Choudhury. Mr. Choudhury, thank you for joining the show and welcome to the show. Mr. Chaudhary is a geopolitics expert. He is also one of the leading journalists in South Asia. He is founder and editor of Bangladesh leading weekly Blitz, which also runs a very fabulous digital platform. So we'll be sharing all these links with you, and Mr. Chaudhary's detailed bio will be there in the description box of this YouTube video. So today's program is primarily focused on the death threats which Mr. Chaudhary has been facing because of his independent journalism, which he has been pursuing relentlessly in Bangladesh, exposing the Islamic extremism. So, Mr. Chaudhary, my first question is, that it has been reported not only, in Indian media, but also in international media now extensively that you are facing serious death threats in Bangladesh. So, sir, why have you become such a, high-profile target, and who do you believe is behind these threats? Who is issuing these death threats to you?
Thank you very much, Arunji. Actually, Bangladesh is the ground zero of the radical Islamism and jihadism. It's not from now. So when I started writing against the rise of jihadism in this country back in 2003, when I categorically reported about the Saudi-funded Haramain Foundation or Kuwait-funded Heritage Institute, Haramain Foundation, as you know, it was later revealed that it is connected to Al Qaeda. So when I first wrote about the Haramain institution, stating that it is a part of Al Qaeda, no one believed, and Bangladesh government brought a sedition charge against me, in their words, for demonizing Islam. But later it was revealed by the all top international agencies, intelligence agencies, and counter-terrorism agencies that Haramain Foundation indeed is connected to Al Qaeda, and then it was banned in this country. Then in 2005, end of 2005, there was sudden rise of Khatme-Nabat movement in this country. They were declaring Ahmadiyas as non-Muslims. There was attack on Ahmadi mosques and Ahmadiyya establishment in this country. So I raised my voice against the persecution of Ahmadiyas in this country, and it was actually continuing this kind of the notoriety of Khatme-Nabat movement, because Khatme-Nabat, as you know, it has connections with Khatme-Nabat in Pakistan. So when I started exposing Khatme-Nabat in October 2006, July 2006, our office in Dhaka, it was bombed. It came out of bomb attack, and then Khatme-Nabat claimed the responsibility. So this chronology of attacks by the jihadist groups and threats is nothing, sudden. But this time, as you know, there has been mad rise of the hosting of Al Qaeda, Islamic State, and other flags in this country. And also Israeli ambassador in New Delhi, Mr. Ruben Azhar, he categorically told an Indian media that there is the existence of Hamas in this country. So when I also again started writing about the reemergence of jihadist force in Bangladesh and also the Israeli ambassador's claim about the existence of Hamas. So Sayyid Ziaul Haq, he is the kingpin of Ansar al-Islam, and he is facing a bounty of $5 million, which was declared by the US Department of State. So Sayyid Ziaul Haq publicly on social media, he asked his followers to give them my location, where I stay, where I am, etc. And after 2 days of this incident, there was masked man in my house, as you know, you have also written, and they were inquiring about my whereabouts. So clearly, they were from Al Qaeda because they were masked men and they came and they did not reveal their identity. They were only trying to know where I live, where my children live, family members live. So this is a very, very classic pattern of how these jihadist groups operate everywhere in the world.
So, sir, you must have reported this matter to the authorities also. So, what has been the response of the Bangladesh authorities on this?
Immediately after this incident, I brought this matter to the attention of the top military establishment, top military intelligence establishment, the relevant authorities of the police who are dealing with the counterterrorism issues. And I gave them the detailed information. Unfortunately and surprisingly, of course, there was no response from them, which again gives me the scope to believe that the jihadist rise of re-emergence of jihadist forces in this country is covertly or overtly backed by certain influential segment of the establishment.
So, sir, how would you describe the media landscape in Bangladesh today if you look at the larger picture? So, are journalists under great pressure from jihadist groups, political actors, or both?
In Bangladesh, generally, Arunji, most of the journalists, actually, I should say all of them, they don't write against jihadism. They don't write against the conspiracy of Pakistani ISI. They don't write against Al Qaeda and Islamic State because most of them believe that Al Qaeda and Islamic State, they are doing great job for the cause of Islam. No one talks against Hamas, for example, because they believe that Hamas is the proper institution to teach due lesson to Israel and Jews. So in my case, actually, the absolutely contrast, because I have been consistently writing and talking against these elements. And one more point that I forgot to mention, that this Sayyid Ziaul Haq Major, when he was sacked by Bangladesh Army, he fled this country and initially he landed in Pakistan. And even now, uh, it is anticipated that he is operating from inside Pakistan. So, of course, this threat is not only from Al Qaeda, it is also, it can be also a threat from a counterpart, partner of Pakistani, I think.
So, sir, no, you have just spoken about the Pakistan's ISI. So it seems that Pakistan's ISI has been expanding its influence in Bangladesh, and you have been repeatedly warning about that. So, how serious is this threat for in Bangladesh now, for the Bangladesh society, for the Bangladesh state? And what does it mean for especially India in the region? Because we know that Pakistan's ISI is obsessed with targeting India.
Currently, as you know, that since the installation of Yunus regime in this country on August 5th, August 7th, 2024, so Bangladesh became a safe haven for Pakistan and its military establishment and ISI. And since then, we have we have monitored, we have seen the frequent visit by branded Lashkar-e-Taiba individuals, Jaish-e-Mohammed individuals, Hamas individuals. I mean, even as you know, that Khalid Mashal also visited Bangladesh. So for Pakistani eyesight, the most dangerous thing is that even until today, it is gradually expanding its footprint in this country. And when I say they are expanding footprint, they are choosing the bordering areas of Bangladesh, sensitive bordering areas with India. Actually, we are having a common border with India. It's more than 4,000 kilometers. And Pakistani ISI is expanding its footprint into the Indo-Bangladesh bordering areas. For example, Rangpur division. And in Rangpur division, all the constituencies in that division, parliamentary constituencies, these are held by Jamaat Islami. So Jamaat Islami, their MPs, Pakistani ISI, they are jointly in unison expanding their ranks within those areas. And of course, Pakistan has an evil desire, first of all, to destroy Bangladesh, and secondly, to use Bangladesh as a jihadist or terrorist launchpad to target various areas in India. You know, Arunji, only 2 or 3 days ago, one CIA operative was captured in India while he was crossing Indian border and attempting to enter Nepal. So it is not the first case. There have been few more cases, and with Pakistan having quite visible romance with the CIA. So the CIA, Pakistani ISI, and this Chinese, Turkish MIT, and also Chinese intelligence. So these are all together attempting to use Bangladesh to cause damage to India.
Sir, you have also, extensively written and spoken about Turkey's growing footprint in Bangladesh. So, what role is Ankara playing in Bangladesh political and ideological landscape? What kind of presence Turkey has now established there through, its proxies, and how it is influencing the rise of Islamism in Bangladesh?
Arunji, in your last show, I have mentioned that Turkey is the NATO nation. It is a NATO jihadi nation. We are aware of the agenda of Recep Tayyip Erdogan. He wants to establish or expand the Ottoman Caliphate into many countries in the world. So Pakistani ISI exposed terrorism. Chinese intelligence, it exposed the poisonous seed of polluting people with money, and Turkish intelligence, MIT, they are using the targeted country by giving them lots of advisors for building military establishments. For example, Turkey is building a drone factory in Bangladesh. So they know when Bangladesh manufactures drone, so how many drones we need to serve for the surveillance of our borders with India? Hardly 100. But Turkey is going to produce more. So Turkey will ultimately turn Bangladesh into a, a warehouse of their military hardware, which will they will sell to any convenient buyers. It can be it can be Pakistan, it can be the Middle Eastern countries, even it can be the enemies of the US, I mean the Islamic State and Al Qaeda. So Bangladesh now is have to face the three fronts. One is Pakistani ISI pushing their jihadism in this country through crude jihadism. Chinese intelligence, they are pushing their opium of destroying the nation by luring them to cash and so-called dream of progress and prosperity. And Turkish MIT, it is trying to turn Bangladesh into a nation that builds military hardware for jihadi groups. So altogether, the scenario is pretty dangerous. I mean, it can be even worse than what is even in Iraq or in Yemen, because in Bangladesh, Turkey is building military industrial complex. So they are going to manufacture weapons and military hardware, and those hardware can end up into the hands of jihadi groups. So this is as a person with a very nominal knowledge of terrorism, I can also sense that this is something not so easy matter. I mean, from the uh, outside perspective, it may look something different, but I am giving you the explanation. This is the three major players on play in Bangladesh.
So, sir, if I may factually correct you, I don't think you have a nominal knowledge of terrorism. You are one of the foremost counter-terrorism experts. So, for our viewers, I'll do this fact check that you have been very humble and modest about it. So, and your writings, speak for themselves. So, sir, my last question is that overall, about the kind of death threats which you are facing as an independent journalist because you are writing against Islamism, you are exposing jihadis and also the growing influence of ISI, the growing influence of Turkey, and the growing influence of a lot of jihadi groups. So, sir, do you think that Bangladesh, how do you look at the situation? Do you believe Bangladesh is at a turning point right now between secular democracy and becoming an Islamist nation? And what should the world be watching, and how concerned the world should be?
Anji, first of all, I'd like to say about your valid comment. Actually, we are all learners, you and I all, and learning has no limit. We cannot consider ourselves that we know everything. Actually, we know a very little because jihadism, terrorism is a very wide area. Now, to reply to your question, the destination of Bangladesh. When you say that what should be the world doing, world will not do anything, because if we mean United States by saying it is world or China or Turkey, they are not going to do anything because they only implement their own agenda. So it is the people of Bangladesh who must wake up and say enough to what is going on in this country, because the country is definitely heading towards the similar fate of Pakistan. I mean, Pakistan by now, we all know it's not a country at all. It's not even a state. It's a rogue entity. And they want to turn Bangladesh into another rogue entity. And for Bangladesh with the 18 crore people, 180 million, and all the homogeneous people. I mean, we speak the same language. So once the jihadism finds the base in this country, it will ultimately become a very serious headache to the international security. So Bangladesh has to decide. Bangladeshi people will have to decide, and at the same time, we, the people of Bangladesh, have to understand that who are our friends and who are our foes. We only need friends. Neither we need foes, enemies, nor we need frenemies. So when we say friends, India is our time-tested friend. And then the second country which we can trust is Russia. So these two countries have helped us in 71, and we have to seek India's cooperation in killing this infection of jihadism, which has been injected into the body of Bangladesh and which has become more serious during the following the jihadi coup in this country. So Bangladesh and India have to work in unison very seriously to resolve this issue, to to solve this problem, and save Bangladesh from becoming a rogue entity similar as Pakistan.
Thank you so much, sir, for decoding all these issues. And to our viewers, I just want to say we are also going to share some links about reports that have appeared in various media platforms regarding the death threats being issued to Mr. Chaudhry. And we'll continue to track this story. Please do share your feedback. And I think independent journalists like Mr. Chaudhry were exposing, extremism and terrorism, so they need to be supported widely. And please share your thoughts in the comment box also. And we'll also be sharing the link of Blitz, the publication, and you can keep on tracking the latest developments not only in Bangladesh but in South Asia, West Asia, and the rest of the world also. So please do visit the website, and we'll be back soon with another conversation. Thank you so much, sir, for taking time out from your busy schedule and sharing your thoughts. Thank you, sir.